Death on the moor. For a moment, I sat breathless, not sure if I heard right. Then I heard clearly and felt a big weight leave me. That cold, sharp, and funny voice could only be one man. "Holmes!" I cried. "Holmes, come out," he said, "and be careful with the revolver." I bent under the rough door frame and saw him sitting on a stone outside. His gray eyes looked happy as he saw my surprised face. He was thin and tired, but alert. His face was sun-browned and wind-roughened. In his tweed suit and cap, he looked like a normal visitor on the moor. He even kept his chin clean and his shirt perfect, like he was still in Baker Street. "I have never been so glad to see someone," I said, shaking his hand. Or more surprised, right? Yes, I must say so. The surprise is not just yours. I did not know you had found my secret place or were inside until I was near the door. Watson, I cannot know your footprint among many, but if you want to hide from me, change your cigarette brand. When I see a cigarette stub marked Bradley, Oxford Street, I know my friend Watson is nearby. You dropped it when you ran into the empty hut. Exactly. I thought so. Knowing your strong will, I knew you were waiting with a weapon for the stranger to come back. So, you really thought I was the criminal? But I wanted to find out. Good Watson, how did you find me? Did you see me on the night of the convict hunt when the moon rose behind me? Yes. I saw you then, and searched all huts until you found this one? No, your boy was watched, and that helped me know where to look. The old man with the telescope, yes. I did not know what the light on the lens was at first. He stood up and looked inside the hut. Ah, Cartwright brought supplies. So you went to Coombe Tracy? Yes. To see Mrs. Laura Lyons? Yes. Well done. We have been working separately, but together we will know a lot. I am glad you are here. The case and the responsibility were too much for me. But how did you come here? A little hurt. I thought you would treat me better. My dear friend, you have helped me a lot. Please forgive my trick. I did it for your own good. I worried about your safety and wanted to check the case myself. If I was with Sir Henry and you, our enemies would be careful. But alone, I could move freely and stay unknown. It might have caused danger. You might try to comfort me and take risks. I brought Cartwright with me. He takes care of my needs, bread, and a clean collar. What more does a man want? He is my eyes and feet and has been very helpful. My voice shaking as I thought of my work. Holmes took papers from his pocket. Here are your reports, very well used. I made good plans. They are only 1 day late. But Holmes's praise made me forget my anger. I also knew he was right, that it was better I didn't know he was on the moor. That's better, he said, seeing my face. Now tell me about Mrs. Laura Lyons, why you visited her. I knew you would go, she might help us. We went inside the hut to warm up. I told Holmes about my talk with the lady. He was so interested he asked me to repeat parts twice. This is very important, he said. It fills a gap I could not understand in this difficult case. You know, there is a close connection between Mrs. Lyons and Stapleton? I didn't know they were close. There is no doubt. They meet and write to each other. They understand each other well. This is a strong weapon for us. The woman called Miss Stapleton is really his wife. Good heavens! Are you sure? How could he let Sir Henry fall in love with her? Sir Henry falling in love only hurt Sir Henry. Stapleton made sure Sir Henry would not love her, as you saw yourself. I repeat, the woman is his wife, not his sister. Why the big lie? because he knew she would help him more if she seemed free. All my doubts and feelings now focused on the naturalist. That calm, colorless man with a straw hat and butterfly net seemed terrible, a patient, clever man with a smiling face but a deadly heart. So he is our enemy and followed us in London. That is my conclusion. And the warning, it came from her? Yes. A dark, terrible plan seemed to grow clearer in the night around me. But are you sure, Holmes? How do you know she is his wife? He had forgotten himself so much that he told you the truth about his past when he first met you. I think he has regretted it many times since. He used to be a schoolmaster in the north of England. Schoolmasters are easy to find because there are agencies that keep records of them. I did some research and found that a school had failed badly, and the man who owned it, under a different name, had disappeared with his wife. The descriptions matched. When I learned that the missing man loved studying insects, I was sure it was him. It was getting dark, but much was still hidden in the shadows. I asked, if this woman is really his wife, then who is Mrs. Laura Lyons? That is something your own investigations helped to explain, Holmes said. Your talk with the lady cleared up much. I did not know she planned to divorce her husband, so she probably hoped to marry Stapleton, thinking he was single. And what happens when she learns the truth? Then she might be helpful to us. Don't you think, Watson, that you have been away from your patient too long? More. A few stars shone in the violet sky. One last question, Holmes, I said as I stood up. Surely you and I don't need secrets. What is all this about? And planned murder. And planned murder. Don't ask me for details now. My nets are closing around him, just as his are around Sir Henry. With your help, he is almost in my power. There is only one danger left, that he might act before we are ready. One more day, 2 at most, and I will have the full case. Until then, watch Sir Henry as carefully as a loving mother watches her sick child. Your work today has been important, but I almost wish you had stayed with him. That awful cry made my blood freeze. Oh my God, I gasped. What was that? What does it mean? Holmes jumped to his feet. I saw his dark, strong shape at the door, leaning forward, looking into the dark. Quiet, he whispered. Now it came again, closer, louder, more urgent. Where is it? Holmes whispered. I felt his voice tremble, the strong man shaken inside. Where is it, Watson? There, I think. I pointed into the darkness. A new sound mixed with it. A deep, soft rumble, musical but threatening, rising and falling like the constant murmur of the sea. The Hound! Cried Holmes. Come, Watson, come. Great heavens, if we are too late. He started running fast over the moor, and I followed. Then from somewhere in front of us came one last desperate yell, and then a dull, heavy fall. We stopped and listened. No more sounds broke the stillness of the windless night. I saw Holmes put his hand to his forehead, like a man who could not believe it. He stamped his feet. He has beaten us, Watson. We are too late. No, no, surely not. Fool that I was to wait. And you, Watson, see what happens when you leave your patient. But if the worst has happened, we will get revenge. Blindly we ran through the dark, hitting rocks, pushing through bushes, panting up hills and rushing down slopes, always going where the terrible sounds came from. At every hill, Holmes looked carefully around, but the shadows were thick, and nothing moved on the sad moor. There it was again on our left. On that side, a ridge of rocks ended in a steep cliff, looking over a slope full of stones. On the cliff face lay a dark, strange shape. As we ran closer, it became clear. It was a man lying face down, his head bent badly, shoulders rounded, and body curled as if falling. His position was so strange that I did not realize that moan was his last breath. Nothing moved now. Holmes touched him and quickly pulled back with horror. The light from his match showed blood on the man's crushed skull and his dirty fingers. It also showed something that made our hearts sick, the body of Sir Henry Baskerville. No one could forget his red tweed suit, the same he wore the first day we saw him at Baker Street. We saw it once more, and then the match went out, just as hope left our hearts. Holmes groaned, his face pale in the dark. "Why?" "The brute! The brute!" I cried, clenching my hands. "Oh, Holmes, I will never forgive myself for leaving him alone. I blame myself more, Watson. To complete my case, I have lost my client's life. It is the worst blow of my career. But how could I know he would risk the moor alone after all my warnings? That we heard his screams, my God, those screams, and still could not save him. Where is this terrible hound that chased him? It may be hiding among these rocks now. And Stapleton, where is he? He will answer for this. He will. Uncle and nephew are both dead. One scared to death by a monster he thought was supernatural, the other running wild and falling to his death. Now we must prove the link between the man and the beast. Except for the sounds, we cannot even swear the beast exists, since Sir Henry died from the fall. But clever as he is, shocked by the terrible disaster that ended all our hard work. As the moon rose, we climbed the rocks where our poor friend had fallen. From the top, we looked over the moor, half silver and half dark. Far away, near Grimpen, a single yellow light shone. It could only be the lonely home of the Stapletons. I shook my fist at it with anger. Why don't we catch him now? Our case is not finished. The man is very careful and smart. It is not what we know, but what we can prove. If we make one mistake, he might escape. What can we do? We have much to do tomorrow. Tonight, we can only care for our poor friend. We carefully went down the steep slope to the body, black and clear on the silver stones. The pain in those twisted limbs hurt me and brought tears to my eyes. We must send for help, Holmes. We cannot carry him all the way to the hole. Are you crazy? He cried out and bent over the body. Then he started laughing and shaking my hand. Could this be my serious friend? These were hidden feelings indeed. A beard. A beard? The convict. We quickly turned the body over, and the wet beard showed in the moonlight. No doubt about the deep forehead and sunken eyes. It was the same face that glared at me by candlelight, the face of Selden, the criminal. Then it all became clear. I remembered the baronet told me he gave his old clothes to Barrymore. Barrymore passed them to help Selden escape. The tragedy was still sad, but at least this man had deserved death by law. I told Holmes, full of thanks and relief. Then the clothes caused the poor devil's death, he said. It is clear the hound was sent because of something of Sir Henry's, probably the boot stolen at the hotel and chased this man. A hound on the moor would not scare a hard man like Selden, so much that he screamed for help and risked capture. He must have run far after knowing the animal was near. How did he know? A bigger mystery is why the hound was loose tonight. I guess it is not always loose on the moor. Stapleton would not let it go unless he thought Sir Henry would be there. My problem is harder. I think we will soon explain yours, but mine might stay a mystery forever. Now, what shall we do with this poor man's body? I am sure you and I can do this. Look, Watson, who is coming? It is the man himself. Be careful. I saw the red light of his cigar. The moon showed his smart clothes and quick walk. He stopped when he saw us, but then came closer. Dr. Watson. Is that you? I did not expect to see you here at night. What is this? Is someone hurt? Is it Sir Henry? He quickly went to the dead man. He gasped and dropped his cigar. "Who is this?" he asked. "This is Selden, the man who ran away from Princetown." Stapleton looked shocked, but tried to stay calm. He looked from Holmes to me. "This is very sad. My friend and I heard a cry while walking on the moor. I also heard a cry. That's why I came out. I was worried about Sir Henry." "Why Sir Henry?" I asked. "Because I told him to come here. When he did not come, I got worried. Then I heard the cry on the moor. By the way," he looked at us carefully, "did you hear anything else?" "No," said Holmes. "Did you?" "No. What do you think then? You know the stories about a ghost dog on the moor. People say you can hear it at night. I wanted to know if it was real tonight." "What do you think caused this man's death?" "I think he was very scared and confused." "What do you think, Mr. Holmes?" Holmes smiled politely. "You found the man fast," he said. "We have waited for you here since Dr. Watson arrived. You come just in time to see a sad event." "Yes, I agree. I think my friend explained well. I will take this sad memory back to London tomorrow." "You go back tomorrow?" "Yes, that is my plan." "Has your visit helped with the strange events here?" Holmes shrugged. "Not always can we find the answer we want. An investigator needs facts, not stories or rumors. This case is not good." Holmes spoke openly. Stapleton looked at him carefully. Then he said to me, "I want to bring this man to my house, but it will scare my sister. I think we should cover his face until morning." We agreed. We refused Stapleton's offer to stay. Holmes and I walked to Baskerville Hall. We saw the man slowly walking away on the moor. Behind him was the dark spot where the dead man lay.